The topic is magic E rule. So already we have learned the sounds of the alphabets, the blending of vowel and consonant, three-letter word reading, everything. So after that long vowel, what we'll be learning is that our magic E rule. So what is magic E? Okay, what is magic E? Magic E is nothing but the end of a word is where I'll be. So the E, the end of the word where I'll be. I don't say my sound or name. Okay. I just sit there silently, but the vowel that I'm around gets to make their long sound. So I does not say my name or sound, but what I'll do is the one vowel that is around me, I'll make them the longer sound. Okay, so what is this magic E rule is nothing but in a word, if E is at the end of the word, it does not say its name or sound. Instead, it becomes silent and makes the vowel inside the word to sound longer. Okay, so magic E rule is nothing but in a word, if E is at the end of a word, it does not say its name or sound. Instead, it longs their vowel that is around E. Okay, so magic E. So we can see certain words in which how does the three letter when added with the letter E changes the sound. First, I'll take the three letter bit. B, E, T. So when reading it as a three letter, the pronunciation and the meaning of the word is different. B, E, T. Bit. If I add E at the end of a word, if I add E at the end of the word, the total word meaning and the pronunciation changes, right? So, B, E, T, bit. So if I add E at the end, the vowel around E, the vowel here is I. So it does not say the sound. It says its original name I in a longer sound. Okay. B, I, T. E becomes silent. Okay. So how we have to read is B, I, T. Bite. So the E becomes silent and the vowel around E says its longer sound of its name. Okay. B, I, T. Bite. The next letter, we'll go with the next word. T, U, B. T, a, B. Tub. So if I add E at the end, the total word changes and the sound of the word also changes and the meaning also changes. Tub. T, a, B. If it is a three-letter word, we have to pronounce it as T, a, B. Tub. So if we add E at the end, the total pronunciation of the word changes. That is, in the sense, E becomes silent and the vowel around it says its longer name sound. Okay. T, U, B. So the letter is U. So T, U, B. Tube. As the E becomes silence, you have to pronounce this word as tube. T, U, B. Tube. Okay. I'll give you some more examples for magic E. Next is your three letter H, O, P. Or P. If it is a three-letter word, you have to pronounce it as hop. If I add or magic E at the end, so if I add magic E at the end, the pronunciation and the meaning changes, in which E becomes silent and the vowel inside says its longer name sound. O, P. E becomes silent. So you should not pronounce the name or sound of the letter. O, P. Hope. O, P. Hope. The next word, rob. R, O, B. If it is a three-letter word, you have to pronounce this word as rob. R, O, B. Rob. If I add E at the end, it becomes silence and the inner vowel says its name sound. Okay, r, o, b, robe. You have to say the vowel sound longer. Okay, r, o, b, robe. E becomes silent and you have to make the vowel sound longer. You have to say its original name sound. Okay, r, o, b, robe. The next word, if it is a three-letter word, how we have to read is that k, a, t, cut. If I add e at the end, the total pronunciation and the meaning changes. How we have to read is k, u. You have to say the letter name u, t, cute. The e becomes silent at the end and the vowel says its name. Okay, k, u, t, cute. The next word, if it is a three-letter word, you have to pronounce it as tap. T, a, p. Tap. If I add e at the end, the vowel inside says its original name sound. T, a, p. Tape. T, a, p. Tape. E becomes silent and the vowel says its original name. Okay. T, a, p. Tape. The next word, so when it is a three-letter word, you have to read it as k, a, b, cub. K, a, b, cub. If I add e at the end, the vowel around it says its original name sound longer. Okay, k, u, b, cube. K, u, b, cube. You need not say the sound of the ending letter e. The next word, the pronunciation of this three-letter word is hug. In the sense of sound, a, g, hug. If I add e at the end, the pronunciation changes in the sense of u, j. Why the g sound changes from g to j is nothing but it comes under another rule of soft g and hard g. That rule later on we'll be seeing in the coming up sessions. Okay, so huge. The next word, k, e, t, kit. If it is a three-letter word, you have to pronounce it as k, e, t, kit. If I add e at the end, the pronunciation becomes k, I, t, kite. So the vowel, we have to say its name longer. K, I, t, kite. The next word, if it is a three-letter word, you have to read it as r, o, t, rot. If e is at the end of the word, you have to change the sound r, o, t, wrote. R, o, t, wrote. Only the sound at the letter e at the end of the word totally changes the pronunciation and meaning of the word. That is the speciality of the magic e rule. Next one, k, a, in, can. If it is a three-letter word, you have to pronounce it as k, a, in, can. If I add e at the end, you have to change the vowel sound k, a, n, cane. K, a, n, cane. The next word, e, in, fin. E, n, fin. If I add e at the end, I, in, fine. So the total sound changes. I, in, fine. I'll show you some more words for this. The next word is mat. If I read this as a three-letter word, at, mat. If I add this magic E at the end, it becomes silent and the vowel around takes its name sound longer. A, t, mate. E becomes silent, okay? A, t, mate. The next word, add, mad. So if I'm adding E, A, D, made. A, D, made. The next word, if it is a three-letter word, you have to pronounce it as s, a, sam. If I add E at the end, you have to change the vowel sound s, a, same. E becomes silent, so the word becomes s, a, same. Okay, so these are the examples of magic E words. I'll show you some more examples in which the three-letter words, if we add E at the end, the power of magic E changes the total meaning and pronunciation of the word. This one, sob. If I add E at the end, it becomes sob, sob. The second one, rob. We are adding E at the end. What it becomes as robe, robe. The next one is ox, box, ox, box. The next, an, man, ain, main, at, cat. If we add E, ate, Kate. Div. If I add E, it becomes dive. Next one is app, tap. If I add E at the end, what it becomes is ape, tape. At, bat. If I add E, ate, bait. The same we can build many words as we can add E at the end and we can change the total meaning and pronunciation of the word. So these are the examples of magic E words. It is a simple thing to understand. Nothing is that if a three-letter word has E, three-letter word when added with E at the last, the vowel around it says its original name longer, that the last E becomes silent. Next one is, what is a sight word? So next we can go with sight word. So what is a sight word? Sight words are any words that falls a lot of times into text and the reader recognizes them automatically without any efforts, or you can say reading by just seeing them. Sight is nothing but we already know the one which we see, sight. So the words which are regularly we see in a text or a paragraph or in a story reader, those words are known as sight words. So we will be made to keep on sight for a lot of times, that is we falls a lot of times into text that a reader recognizes. So we automatically recognize what word is that regularly we will be having a sight over to those words. So those words are called as sight words. So sight words can be decoded and sounded out too. The one is, the sight words can be decoded and sounded out too. If your child memorizes a list of 100 sight words, they'll be able to read those 100 words. It's true. So if we are teaching a kid with 50 words, he'll be well known with those 50 words. So if we are able to make them to read those 100 words, they'll be reading only those 100 words. But if they learn how to sound out words, they'll be able to read thousands and thousands of words on their own, even if they have never seen them before. So even if they never have seen a word before, by sounding out a word they can able to read a word. So those sound words can be decoded and sounded out 2. Okay, so we can see some set of sound words, sight words. I'll show you some set of sight words. Okay, the first one is the, of, and, a, to, in, is. See, in these cases, certain words you can sound out them. Of, the, a, n, d, and, a, to, e, n, in, is. Okay, so the next words, you. So these words and all you can repeatedly see in those text and story readers, that these type of words repeatedly will you be citing over. Okay, next is you, that, it, he, was, for, on, are. So already we have seen he. If a word, two letter word with the e at the end, it says its original name, that is e, he. So in sight words, certain words can be sounded out. E, t, it, th, at, that, you. Okay, next one was, or, for, or, on, are. Okay, the other set of words I'll show you. Said, there, use, and, each, she. So as we studied before, sh, e, she. Each also, e, a. Later on you'll be learning in sounds, e, a, e, ch, each, a, n, and. So with the rule of magic e, this also can be sounded out, as it is the last word is e. You have to long the sound of the vowel use. Okay, next she, do, how, there. The next set of words, not. This can be pronounced with the sound n or t. Not. What, all, where, we, when, your, can. It can be sounded k and can. So certain words in sight words can be pronounced. Okay, with the help of phonic sounds. This. So this can be pronounced th, is, this. Have, from, or, one, had, by, but. So had can be pronounced a, d, had, b, e, by, or, r, or. Okay, so certain types of words and side words can be pronounced with the phonics rules. Okay, as, as. You can pronounce this word with the rule. With, his, they, I, at. So at can be pronounced at, at, be. As in the words of he and she, in this word also the last e says its own name, b, e, be. Okay, so these are set of sight words in which already I told you. So these can be repeatedly seen in a text or a story reader. Okay, next I'll go with the high frequency word. That is nothing but tricky words. So what is the difference between sight words and high frequency words? Is nothing but the sight words are instantly recognized and identified without conscious effort. So without conscious effort, what we can do is that we can identify that it is a sight word in which we will be seeing it a lot of times repeatedly. What is high frequency words? High frequency words are most commonly used in English language. That is the tricky words in which the sight words we have seen. In those sight words there are several words which are very tricky one, that are nothing but they are harder to sound out with phonic rules. Simple thing between sight words and tricky words is nothing but it is harder to sound out with phonic rules. Okay, those tricky words, for examples, I have listed out 4 to 5 tricky words. That is nothing but there, was, have, do, or what. So in the case of what, at, what, we have to pronounce it as what. But what is the original sound is that what. So these are the tricky words we have selected from sight words, in which they are tricky because of the reason in which it is harder to sound out with phonic rules. So the words which are very harder to pronounce with the phonic rules, that is, in case of sight words we have selected certain words, so those words are known as tricky words. So this is a simple difference between sight words and a tricky word. So which are harder to pronounce or tricky one. Okay, so we have seen magic E rule, in which I have shown you several examples. That is, if we add a word at a letter E at the end, the total pronunciation and spelling, meaning, everything changes, in which this magic E has that power of making the word to a different sound and meaning. Okay, next we have seen sight words, in which sight words are nothing but the one which we repeatedly see in a text or a story reader. Next, we have seen the difference between the sight word and a tricky word. So, next session we'll be seeing out with coming up with some of the interesting topics. So, I'll be meeting you in the next session. Thank you.